These are the top 3 repossession laws that feel illegal to know.
Pressure on the consumer, more Americans now falling behind on their car payments. Fitch says the percent of subprime borrowers were at least now 60 days late rose by 6.1%.
As the economy keeps collapsing and people are getting laid off and people are not able to afford their everyday costs, repossessions have started to spike all across the United States. This is not financial advice or legal advice, and I am not an attorney.
American borrowers dubbed severely delinquent, or at least 60 days overdue on their car payments, is up nearly 18% from a year ago. That same rate for subprime borrowers.
So if you paid attention to that last video, it was only up 6%. But as time goes on, it continues to increase and the repo rate keeps jumping, and the Repoman is taking advantage of every single consumer out there. So we went from 6% to 18%, and now the question is, do consumers actually truly have rights against repossessions? Repossessions is one of the #1 reasons that people go looking for credit repair, because it is one of the most delinquent things that you can have on your credit report, and it is in fact one of the most difficult to actually delete from a credit report, well, besides a charge off and a bankruptcy, of course. So in today's episode, I'm gonna bust this watermelon wide open and show you some of the top 3 laws that feel illegal to know about repossessions. Because the problem here is we've been seeing a lot of videos circulating all over social media, and in fact there were shows about repossessions that people were really acting crazy. They got them on camera yelling at them to stop, and the Repoman never stops. In fact, now people are literally making money off of the actual pain and suffering that people are going through on social media. They're posting videos of themselves actually repoing people's cars and making fun of them, putting songs on. You know what? Let's watch a couple of them so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. And then I'm gonna break down the parts that are actually illegal in those videos. And then we're gonna talk about everything and how you, the consumer, can protect yourself and fix your credit if you have a repossession on it. So this first one we're looking at is pretty obvious. It's pretty crazy how he's telling them to stop. This is the very interesting part. He's yelling, he's telling them to stop, don't take my car. This is what we call a breach of the peace. Now you're gonna be shocked at how many states this covers, but it covers, I would say, almost all of them. I'm gonna put it up on the screen later on to show you exactly what states are actually covered so you can have 100% clarity, and anybody can't come into the comments and say, oh, you're lying, Mike. No, I bring proof always. So if your car is being repossessed and you literally pull out your phone, you need to record this, record the entire interaction, and you need to state very clearly, stop, do not take my car. Don't put your hands on the repo person, don't attack them or any of that. If they still take your car when they see that you said that to them, guess what? That is a breach of the peace. And it is in fact covered by all of the states in the United States. It is what we call a UCC code. What is a UCC code and why does it matter? It's important to understand that a UCC code is the Uniform Commercial Code, is a comprehensive set of laws governing all commercial transactions in the United States. It is not a federal law, but it is a uniformly adopted state law. Uniformity of law is essential in this area for the interstate transaction of business. Again, don't worry, I did the research for you, and later on I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see every single state that it's covered by. Breach of the peace is literally covered in every single state because they don't want any of these repo people out there causing scenes and causing any kind of drama. Because when you purchase a vehicle, it is a commercial transaction. Now let's take a look at another video that shows a very, very obvious violation also. This is gonna be a quick one. This is a really interesting one. Look at this. They jump into the car because guess what? You're not supposed to repossess a car if someone is in the car. They literally pull the gas out of it, but they still tow it with the person in it. That's crazy. So yeah, you heard me right. They cannot repossess your car if you're in the vehicle. So this is why the person jumped in it, but unfortunately the tow truck driver continued to do the process and they still actually repoed the car, which is insane. And it is 100% illegal for you to do that. But of course, it depends on the state. This one is a little tricky. It's a little tricky, but it does hold weight and across a lot of the other states. So this next one is interesting. You see this guy right here, he's the repo reaper. But what he's about to do, he's trying to act like he's not liable, and of course he's got it all recorded. He's dragging this car, and as you can see how the wheel is hopping, he literally snaps the axle on the left. You could see it. He just snaps it. Doesn't care. That is illegal. You can't damage somebody's car because guess what? Now when they try to sell the vehicle, it has been damaged and is now going to cause it to be sold for less money. And guess what? That's illegal. So it's interesting here where the liability lies, because it's going to lie with the actual tow truck person here, but it's also going to lie with the lender, because the lender hired the repo company, and most likely the repo company didn't report that they damaged this vehicle. They just probably said, oh, I picked it up and towed it like that. That's how it was. And it definitely wasn't, as you saw in the vehicle. These repo people are beyond stupid because they're recording all of these interactions and they're breaking the law at the same time. But it's because consumers don't know their rights, and that's why they're getting away with it. But today we're gonna end all of that. Listen, I know I said I was gonna only give you 3, but I'm actually gonna give you way more than that. It's probably gonna be maybe 6, maybe 7 of them. Last part's the most important. Now there is a website called the American Recovery Association. Now they actually created this for all these idiot repo people out there who are calling me a liar that don't actually use it. It shows all the laws in every single state. Well, not all of them, but it gives you a general practice of all the laws. But the most important is the breach of the peace. And it shows how it is actually covered in all of the states and in actual other countries too. But I'm not gonna show the other countries. So for the next 3 minutes and 47 seconds, I'm gonna let it scroll on the screen with me as I cover all of the other laws, so you can get 2 for the price of 1 here, okay? Well, for the price of free, actually. All right, so as this scrolls for the breach of the peace, pay attention where it says actual repossession allowed. It will say UCC code allowed with no breach of the peace. But now let's also move on to the next ones. Now you need to understand, you must receive some type of notice from the actual lender letting you know that your car is going to be repossessed. If you haven't, then your rights have been violated. Now, they're not gonna tell you where exactly to find the actual car or where they're gonna repo the car, but they're just gonna let you know that you have actually defaulted and they are going to repossess the vehicle. You need to get that notice in the mail. So this is why it's important. Moving forward, if you are going through financial hardship, make sure that your address is accurate, because you want to have proof that they never sent you any type of notice. Now let's say they actually repossess the vehicle. This is another law. They need to send you a notice letting you know that the actual car has been repossessed and where it is located and how you can actually redeem it. Meaning, redeeming it means that you can go and pay whatever the balance is or pay for the full amount of the car to be paid off, whatever it may be. They have to tell you exactly where it's at, and they must list the contents of the personal items inside of your vehicle. If there were any personal items in your vehicle, which the majority of these repo people don't list that, which is an advantage for you in your situation if this case is about you and you have that issue where they stole your property or whatever. Especially, I've heard of stories where they actually stole people's cell phones out of their cars, which is crazy because a cell phone can be tracked, but they do shit like that. So remember, they have to send you a notice on how to redeem the vehicle and where it is located and all the fees that are associated in order for you to redeem that vehicle. Now, here's another law that you need to pay attention to. So let's say, for instance, you don't redeem the vehicle. What is the next step? Now, they have to let you know that the car is going to go for auction and where they're going to auction it at. That's very important. There needs to be a pre-sale notification and an actual post-sale notification. So they need to let you know exactly where it's going to be up for auction. And then after it actually sells, they have to send you what's called a deficiency notice. This deficiency notice, because it's going to tell you exactly what the car was sold for and what the remaining balance is, if there is an actual remaining balance. Because how else are you going to know what's supposed to actually report on your credit report? How do you truly know if the deficiency is actually accurate? Was there damage to the vehicle when they picked it up? Like in that video, that tow truck driver actually damaged the vehicle, so that actually devalued the car, which the car was not in that position before it got picked up and towed. So now that caused more damage, meaning the car sold for less, and now you have a serious case on your hand if that did happen to you. But remember, they must send you a notice letting you know how much the car sold for. That is the law. It is what? a UCC code. Now, once they sell the vehicle, they must dispose of the vehicle in a commercial reasonable manner, meaning they can't just sell it to Uncle Day Day or their cousin down the street. They actually have to sell it in a commercial manner at a commercial auction. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be an auction house, but it has to be sold in a commercial manner, and it has to be listed and all the information so you can know exactly how it was sold and what it was sold for. But if it wasn't sold in a commercial manner, then guess what? They violated that UCC code. But why does this matter? Because all of this leads back to litigation-backed disputing. You want to dispute the pure facts. You want to dispute that they didn't serve you with the actual notice that they were going to repossess, that they didn't actually serve you with the notice that they had it and where you could redeem it, and they never sent you a deficiency notice. That means they broke the process. They must follow the process. If they broke the process, then guess what? What's on your credit report is not accurate or complete. How can you know that when they never sent you any type of notice? And this is why working with attorneys is very, very valuable, because attorneys are looking for all of those issues in your situation. A regular credit repair person isn't looking for this. What do they have? They can't sue the creditor. They can't sue the actual tow truck company. They can't sue the actual credit reporting agency. They're not going to do any of that. They're just going to keep sending letters endlessly. And you need there to be an attorney so they can actually take action and sue on your behalf once those UCC codes are broken. Use all of these laws to send very simple, basic letters to the creditor and the actual credit reporting agency at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone. If you had a repossession that you had to deal with, comment attorney if you need one of our attorneys to help you fix that issue or fix your credit. Make sure that you pause the video so you can see your state-specific laws on that website in the video. Now, if you do decide that you want to use the attorney program, understand that the legal team uses all of their powers to find every single avenue possible if there is a repossession on your vehicle. We work with attorneys that have created a crazy network of attorneys all across the United States. Now, the best part about this program, it's only $150 for the first month and then $150 for the second month, and then the fees stop. No credit monitoring is needed because we want you to pull the reports directly from the actual credit reporting agencies and then submit it to us. We build your file up, we turn it over to the legal team. Once the legal team approves it, then they take over. There are no attorney fees whatsoever out of your pocket. That's the best part about this program. Now, how do they get paid, you say? Attorneys take their fees out of whoever they're going to file complaints or lawsuits against. That's how it works. There are no retainer fees and no attorney fees because you may be entitled to thousands of dollars worth in damages. This is why this is better than standard bootleg credit repair from some amateur credit repair company that's just sending a bunch of template letters getting themselves nowhere. You want the attorneys to use all of their power every single round. So if the credit reporting agency responds improperly, they have to deal with the attorneys. If the creditor or the lender or whoever doesn't respond properly, guess what? They have to deal with attorneys. That's the difference. I hope you enjoyed this video because we covered a lot on the top laws in repossession that feel illegal to know. Now make sure that you watch the next video because it is about other laws that you may not know about in credit repair that can help you along the way as a consumer. Now, if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.